And teach with great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And teach with great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And teach with great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanje Joda Zoge Chonam La Chanju Bado Dan Page Jinso Gebe Sonam Gi Dola Benjere Sanje Dubare Jo Sanje Joda Zoge Chonam La Chanju Bado Dane Gyabso Che Dage Jinso Gebe Sonam Gi Dola Benjere Sanje Dubare Sho Sanje Joda Soge Chonam La Chanju Bado Dane Gyabso Che Dage Jinso Gebe Dola Benjere Sanje Dubare Sho. Page 6. Page 6. Om Ye Dharma Tesham Datagato Bhavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Bhate Mahashramanaye Swaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Tathagato Hyavak Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vate Mahashamanaye Swaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Datagato Hyavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vate Mahashamanaye Swaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Datagato Hyavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vate Mahashamanaye Swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of causes as well is taught by the great seer. Okay, today we'll read A Lamp of the Path to Enlightenment. In English, page 131. A Lamp of the Path to Enlightenment. Page 131. Now by Lama Shirikana, just again for many of you who are new to this this teaching, meaning the genre of the whole teaching referred to as the lamp for the path of enlightenment. In Tibetan, this is known as Lamrim teaching. Lamrim. So the background of this teaching is that Lama Shirikana, so who is here next to the Buddha, He was invited to Tibet in 11th century AD. And yes, I already shared the stories related to this, how the Tibetan delegates, how much they struggled to invite him to Tibet, and finally they succeeded in doing so. And then the mentor of Lama Dishita in India, the mentor, he gave the permission only for 3 years that Lama Disha can stay in Tibet only for 3 years. And then yes, the mentor was very strict because the Lama Disha was a top-notch scholar, a master in India. And India also needed such a great scholar. And then when this top-notch scholar was invited to Tibet, then India was deprived of such a scholar. And somehow the Lama Disha, his own mentor, finally he gave permission to the Tibetans that you can have Lama Disha for 3 years, and then after this you have to bring him back. And then the ones who invited Lama Disha, who came, the delegates who came to India, and they, of course, they received teachings from Lama Disha's mentor also. His name, the mentor's name, I'm not too sure. So, finally the mentor said that if you don't bring Lama Disha back to India after 3 years, then our student-teacher relationship will be severed. So that was what was told to the Tibetan delegates. Then after 3 years of being in Tibet, and so Lama Disha had to return. And the Tibetan delegates, they were insistent that, now Lama Disha, you have to return to Tibet, to India. And the other Tibetans who had no responsibility about this, they said, please don't return. Please stay in Tibet. So there was conflict within the Tibetan and the groups. So finally, it so happened that when Lama Disha was heading towards Nepal, there was a war happening in Nepal. And because of which, Lama Disha could not go easily. And so Lama Disha said, okay, now I might have to stay back in Tibet. And the Tibetan delegates who made the promise to the mentor of Lama Disha that will bring Lama Disha back. So they said, please don't stay back. We already made a commitment to your mentor. And the other Tibetans would say, no, please stay back in Tibet. So there was the unsettlement there. And finally Lama Disha said that, don't worry. So there's always exception there. And the Lama Disha then quickly composed this text, which we are reading now. Composed this text and then sent it through a messenger that take this text to India and give it to my teacher there, the mentor, more as a mentor. So there's a little difference. For example, in the monastic universities, there's a difference between the mentor and the teacher. Teacher which actually gives you the philosophy teachings, psychology and so forth. Mentor is more like a fatherly figure who takes care of your needs and everything. So they then instructed that this text be sent to India through a messenger and pass it on to his mentor. And finally, this text arrived to India. And the Indian scholars, they read this and they were mesmerized. They were mesmerized by this text. And they said that if Lama Disha stayed in India, he will never compose this text. This text is so precious that we can't really see such a text in India thus far. This is a brilliant text. It's all because that the Lama Disha was in Tibet. He could not cross the border because of the war. Now that he sent this text, and this text is so precious for us. And so it's because of him in Tibet that we got this text. Otherwise, we'll never get this text. So the mentor said that now Tibetans, you can keep Lama Disha as long as you like. So Tibetans got the permission finally to have Lama Disha. Finally, Lama Disha passed away in Tibet itself. He did not come back to India. So this text, so why this text is very special, particularly in the eyes of the Indian masters, was that if you read any other Indian text, for example, including Arya Nagarjuna's text, Acharya Chandrakriti's text, Bodhisattva Sharideva's text, they're all extremely scholarly text, very scholarly, and is all about the intellectual rigor there. Whereas this text is very straightforward, very unusual in the Indian, the continent, to have such a text which is so straightforward, based not based on the intellectual rigor, debate, sharpening the exchanges of thoughts and comparing each other. No, nothing of it. It's very straightforward. You just read it, you practice it. It's very straightforward. And anyway, it's like a baby food. You eat it directly. You don't have to chew. Whereas the Arya Nagarjuna's text, all these texts, they're extremely complicated. And this was the style of composition in India. It's very different. His Holiness, I remember, His Holiness the Dalai Lama would say that in Tibet, the audience, purely Tibetans, purely Buddhist. So no need of any arguments, no need of debates to prove that your philosophy is right. You don't have to prove that. Everybody will say yes, sir. So therefore this teaching is more like very straightforward. So no proving anything. Okay, you do this A, B, C, D, E, F, do this, and then you flow like this. It's very easy to practice. So, and this teaching, this text, this is the foundation for the whole genre of Lamrim teaching in Tibet, and which is used by all the traditions, across the traditions in Tibet, Sakya, Kaikyu, Nyingma, Gelug, Chonang, Pudun, Pudong, all these traditions in Tibet, they use this as a foundation for their the basic Dhamma teachings. Okay, this is the basic background about this text. So let us read this together. By the way, all of you already met Brother Elvin and Sister Christy last time. Bodh, you remember, Rajgir, you remember, two of them who sponsored this book, the book that we are reading now. So all, not just on this retreat, for many retreats in the past, they sponsored, and they categorically, two of them said that this book would be distributed for free for all the participants of the retreats, and that this is the offering for all the retreats which happened for the last, I think, 2-3 years. So now they are again remitting more sum for the further the publications, the printing for again the same more books for the next the retreats for people to get this book for free. Okay, so thank you so much for this. Yeah, thank you. And let us dedicate that two of them, their service is not only for this book, they are being of service to many places, monasteries, then the hospitals, then the Tibetan library, and to many places. Two of them, they are sponsoring and helping many projects across in different traditions also. That's amazing. So let us pray that they have good health, their Dhamma practices of the great success, and through this practice they attain Buddhahood as soon as possible, and then spread the wisdom through their own teachings for all beings. Okay, and meanwhile, Brother Elvin, Sister Christy, and your team, if you want to leave in between, feel free to leave. Yeah, okay. A lamp for the path to enlightenment by Lama Disha Devangara Shri Gyana. Homage to the Bodhisattvas, the youthful Manjushri. I pay homage with great respect to all the victorious ones of the three times, to the teaching and to those who aspire to virtue. Urged by the noble disciple Changju, I shall illuminate the lamp for the path to enlightenment. Understand there are three kinds of persons. Because of their small, middling, and supreme capacities, I shall write clearly distinguishing the individual characteristics. Note that those who by whatever means seek for themselves no more than the pleasures of cyclic existence are the persons of least capacity. Those who seek peace for themselves alone, turning away from worldly pleasures and avoiding destructive actions, are said to be of middling capacity. Who through their personal suffering truly want to end completely all the suffering of others are persons of supreme capacity. For those excellent living beings who desire supreme enlightenment, I shall explain the perfect methods taught by the spiritual teachers. Facing paintings, statues, and so forth of the completely enlightened ones, the reliquaries and excellent teaching, offer flowers, incense, whatever you have, with the 7-part offerings from the prayer of noble conduct, and with a thought never to turn back till you gain ultimate enlightenment. With strong faith in 3 jewels, kneeling with one knee on the ground and your hands pressed together, first of all take refuge 3 times. Next, beginning with an attitude of love for all living creatures, consider beings excluding none, suffering in the 3 bad rebirths, suffering such as birth, death, and so forth. Then, since you want to free these beings from the suffering of pain, from suffering and the cause of suffering, arouse immutably the resolve to attain enlightenment. The qualities of developing such an aspiration are fully explained by Maitreya in the Army of Trunk. Having learned about the infinite benefits of the intention to gain full enlightenment by reading the sutra or listening to a teacher, arouse your rapidity to make it steadfast. The sutra requested by Viruddhata fully explains the merit therein. At this point, in summary, I will cite 3 verses. If it possessed physical form, the merit of the altruistic intention would completely fill the whole of space and exceed even that. If someone were to fill with jewels as many Buddha lands as there are grains of sand in the Ganges, offered to the protect of the world, this would be surpassed by the gift of holding one's hands and including one's mind to enlightenment, for such is limitless. Having developed the aspiration for enlightenment, constantly enhance it through the concerted effort to remember it in this and also in other lives till the precepts properly as explained. Without the vow of the engaged intention, perfect aspiration will not grow. Make effort definitely to make it, since you want to wish for enlightenment to grow. Those who maintain any of the 7 kinds of the individual liberation vows have the ideal prerequisites for the Bodhisattva vow and not others. That the Tathagata spoke of 7 kinds of individual liberation vow. The best of these is the glorious pure conduct, said to be the vow of the holy ordained person. According to the ritual described in the chapter on discipline in the Bodhisattva stages, take the vow from a good and well-qualified spiritual teacher. Understand that a good spiritual teacher is one skilled in the vow ceremony, who lives by the vow and has the confidence and compassion to bestow it. However, in case you try but cannot find such a spiritual teacher, I shall explain another correct procedure for taking the vow. I shall write here very clearly, as explained in the Ornament of Manjushri's Buddha Land Sutras, how long ago when Manjushri was Ambaraja, he aroused the intention to become enlightened. In the presence of the protectors, I arouse the intention to gain full enlightenment. I invite all beings as my guests and shall free them from cyclic existence. From this moment onwards, until I attain enlightenment, I should not harbor harmful thoughts, anger, avarice, or envy. I shall cultivate pure conduct, give up wrongdoing and desire, and with joy involve discipline, train myself to follow the Buddhas. I shall not be enlightened in the quickest way, but shall stay behind till the very end for the sake of even a single being. I shall purify limitless inconceivable lands and remain in the 10 directions for those who call my name. I shall purify all my bodily and my verbal forms of activity. My mental activities too I shall purify and do nothing that is non-virtuous. When those the active altruistic intention have trained well in the 3 forms of discipline, their respect for these 3 forms of discipline grows, which cause purity of body, speech, and mind. Therefore, through effort in the vow made by Bodhisattvas for full enlightenment, the collection for complete enlightenment will be thoroughly accomplished. All Buddhas say the cause for the completion of the collections, whose nature is merit and exalted wisdom, is the development of higher perceptions. Just as a bird with undeveloped wings cannot fly in the sky, those without the power of the higher perception cannot work for the good of living beings. The merit gained in a single day by one who possesses higher perceptions cannot be gained even in 100 lifetimes by one without such higher perception. Those who want swiftly to complete the collections for full enlightenment will accomplish higher perception, not through laziness. Without the attainment of calm abiding, higher perception will not occur. Therefore, make repeated effort to accomplish calm abiding. While the conditions for the calm abiding are incomplete, meditative stabilization will not be accomplished, even if one meditates strenuously for thousands of years. Thus, maintaining well the conditions mentioned in the collection for the meditative stabilization chapter, place the mind on any one virtuous focal object. When the practitioner has gained calm abiding, higher perceptions will also be gained. But without perfectional wisdom, obscuration will not come to an end. Thus, to eliminate all obscurations to liberation of omniscience, the practitioner should continue to cultivate the perfection of wisdom with skillful means. Wisdom without skillful means and skillful means without wisdom are referred to as bondage. Therefore, do not give up either. To eliminate doubts concerning what is wisdom and what skillful means are, I shall make clear the difference between skillful means and wisdom. Apart from the perfection of wisdom, all virtuous practices such as the perfection of giving are described as skillful means by the victorious ones. Whoever under the influence of familiarity with skillful means cultivate wisdom will quickly attain enlightenment, not just by meditating on selflessness. Understanding emptiness of inherent existence through realizing the aggregates constituents and the sources are not produced is described as wisdom. Something existing cannot be produced, nor something non-existent like a sky flower. These aders are both absurd, and thus both of them will not occur either. A thing is not produced from itself, nor from another, nor from both, not causelessly either. Thus it does not exist inherently by way of its own entity. Moreover, even when phenomena are examined as to whether they are one or many, they are not seen to exist by way of their own entity, and thus are ascertained as not inherently existent. The reasoning of the 70 stanzas on emptiness, the 20 on the middle way, and so forth, explain that the nature of all things establishes emptiness. Since there are great many passages, I have not cited them here, but have explained just the conclusions for the purpose of meditation. Thus, whatever is meditation and selflessness, but not observing inherent nature in phenomena, is the cultivation of wisdom. Just as wisdom does not see any inherent nature in phenomena, having analyzed wisdom itself by reasoning, meditate on that non-conceptuality. The nature of all this worldly existence, which has come from conceptualization, is conceptuality. Thus, the elimination of conceptuality is the highest state of nirvana. But the great ignorance of conceptuality makes us fall into the ocean of psychic existence, resting on non-conceptual stabilization, space-like non-conceptuality manifests clearly. When the Bodhisattvas non-conceptually contemplate this excellent teaching, they will transcend conceptuality, so hard to overcome, and eventually reach the non-conceptual state. Having ascertained through scripture and through reasoning that phenomena are not produced, no inherently existent, meditated without conceptuality. Having thus meditated on suchness, eventually, after reaching here, the thoroughly joyous and the others attained, and before long the enlightened state of Buddhahood. If you wish to create these the collection of enlightenment through activities of pacification, increase and so forth, gained by the power of mantra, and also through the force of the eight and other great attainments like the good pot. If you want to practice secret mantra as explained in action and performance tantra, then to receive the preceptor initiation, you must please an excellent spiritual teacher through service, valuable gifts, and the like, as well as through obedience. Through full bestowal of the preceptor initiation by spiritual teacher who is pleased, you are purified of all wrongdoing and become fit to gain powerful attainments. Because the great tantra of the primordial Buddha forbids it emphatically, those observing pure conduct should not take the secret and the wisdom initiation. If those observing the austere practice of pure conduct were to hold these initiations, the vow of austerity would be impaired through doing that which is prescribed. This creates transgression that are defeat for those observing discipline. Since they are certain to fall to a bad rebirth, they will never gain accomplishments. There is no fault if one who has received the preceptor initiation and has knowledge of suchness listens to or explains the tantras and performs burnt offerings, rituals, or makes offerings of gifts and so forth. I, the elder Dipangari Shri Jnana, having seen it explained in sutras and in other teachings, have made this concise explanation at the request of Changjubu. Okay, this morning we completed the teaching on the two methods to generate Boddhicitta. So now I'd like to quickly share with you, as indicated in the text which we read just now. Then, once you generate this feeling, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. So this is known as the Boddhicitta, the aspiration to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. And this aspiration, Boddhicitta, this aspiration, as indicated here, as well as in Bodhisattva Shantideva's text, are guided Bodhisattva's way of life. And I would say that those who are seniors, you already know, but those who are new, to new meaning that those who came to the retreat just this time, and you have no idea about the vast ocean of the treatises of Buddhism, I would suggest that one book that would be good for you is a guide to the Bodhisattva's way of life. A guide to the Bodhisattva's way of life by Bodhisattva Shantideva. This book, there are many translations, of which I personally, thus far, I've been recommending the translation by the, what is his name? Stephen Batchelor's. That is, there's ease there, and also that he translated that in form of the verse form. And Stephen Batchelor's one, chapter 9 is translated the prose. So chapter 9, actually I translated. I have my own translation because that it is the one that Stephen Batchelor has is in the prose form. So I translate that in the verse form that is available. So this is one text that I would suggest. In these texts, there's mentioned that Boddhicitta that we've generated, this aspiration. And okay, this is what I'd like to share with you. That in the monastic universities, how many of you have seen the big monastic universities with like 2,000 monks, 3,000 monks, all in the debate? Okay, 2,000, 3,000, Shvedlana, you have seen that? Where? North India, no. No 2,000 monks. Maybe 40, 50. Not. Maybe it's South India.
Нет, на севере Индии мне показывали фотографии, да. Я могу найти только фотографии и сказать название, как было.
She says she saw some pictures from the northern India with the huge monasteries, and many monastics engage in debate, but she's not so sure about the names of those monasteries.
Where? north or south. Not maximum 400, 300, not thousands. So if you want to see thousands, go to South India. So Venerable Tenzin saw that. Venerable Pujara saw that. Venerable Chudana saw that. 3, anyone else? Brother Alvin, Sister Christy, no. You must go. You must go there. Okay, over there. Arjana. You seen there? Where? Debung, yes. Yes, Debung Monastery. This is where I'm from. Sera Monastery, Gandhan Monastery. And then the, say, Nyingma, there's one monastery. Namdrolling Monastery is huge. It's a big. And then the Tashulimbu Monastery is okay. But the big ones, like thousands of monks are there, monk scholars. And then they say, and the thousands of monks are there, and you sit for the final Geshe degree, completing your academic studies. Then okay, these debates, large on the large scale, where all the monk scholars, they are focused on one particular discussion. That happens not too frequently. That happens maybe 4 or 5 occasions in a year. And otherwise, the debate courtyard having 2,000, 3,000 monks debating in pairs, two. This is what happened. So let's say that they say, imagine that you are part of this. You're part of this. And then the debate, who moderates to start the new topic or to stop the first topic, the disciplinarian decides. And the disciplinarian will give the indication that, okay, now this topic, stop, now the next class. Next class, somebody will again stand up, start a debate. Question. And in the debate, no books allowed. No books there, right? Or just wait, I will see this. No, everything must come from memories. Everything, whatever, citation, reasoning, whatever should come through your memories. Then they say it go from 6 p.m. to 7 to 8 to 9 to 10. Hey, 10, 11 o'clock. 11 p.m. Right? 11 p.m. And how will the monk know? How will the monks? They know that now the debate is coming to an end. How do we know that? It entirely is ahead of the disciplinary. It can go till 12 midnight till 1 p.m. But how do we know that the debate is coming to an end? Say in the middle of the debate, like maybe 11 p.m. or 12 there, then if, say, the monks, they are still monk scholars, they're still discussing among themselves, then seeing if I have to stand up to throw more questions, they think about that. Then if a young monk from junior class stands up and start, they say, always begin the debate with a citation. Citation. If the citation is like, say, in the middle of this heated debate, if the citation is like, Circuity, number chotabu mizanlu de lane giveku. Rinshin rena, member gubena, change simshi chawarab den song. So, for example, this is one of the citations. Circuity, number chotabu. This Boddhicitta is like the gold making elixir. And if you apply this to the useless metals, it will all turn the useless metals into the gold. And like this, the Boddhicitta, where one attains this body which is so impure, but with the elixir of the Boddhicitta, practice of Boddhicitta, even this impure body, you'll become enlightened with a pure body, speech, and mind. Therefore, firmly hold this precious mind of the Bodhicitta. This is the verse. So there are several such verses to speak about the benefit, the glory of the practice of this compassionate mind of Boddhicitta. So when this is suddenly, from the middle of the heated debate, a young monk comes up and then start this, and everybody's listening. They hear this, then all the monks, otherwise monk scholars, they were deeply contemplating on what next question to throw and so forth. Suddenly hearing such verses, they will instantly sit up, then stop talking. Then they know that now debate is coming to an end. So always end with the auspicious verses of the Boddhicitta, benefit of Boddhicitta. Then everybody will just contemplate, go through these lines by heart. By heart, and then contemplate on the benefit of Boddhicitta, contemplate on Boddhicitta, meditate on Boddhicitta for a few minutes. They all will do like this. It's very pin drop silence. Earlier, everybody was just come with very rigorous debates, and suddenly all the monks, they will remain very peaceful, quiet, contemplative, think about Boddhicitta. Everybody could see the sudden change in the atmosphere. Everybody become very quiet. That's just the ambience of compassion just radiated from this whole group of the 2,000 monks. You could feel that. You could feel the beauty, strength. So this is so beautiful. And this is why these big monastic universities, it says that these monks, when they pray for somebody, if you make requests to pray, so these, because they practice Boddhicitta like this, they practice wisdom fountains like this. So there's a tremendous power accumulation there in these areas. So it's very beneficial. So this Boddhicitta, which is really like the gold-making elixir, that for us in secular context, you practice Boddhicitta, you see that you become the happiest person. All the unnecessary stress and so forth will quell. And long run, this Boddhicitta will be the seed for you to awaken your Buddha nature within and experience total fearlessness and infinite happiness. This is the foundation. It's for this reason that it says that all the Buddhas, for eons and eons, they contemplated on what can really be the greatest purpose of life, and it says that they unanimously discovered that it is the practice of Boddhicitta that is of the highest value and meaning of life. Okay, so this Boddhicitta, it is classified into two groups. One is known as the aspirational Boddhicitta, and the other one is engaged Boddhicitta. Or in a loose sense, it is aspirational Boddhicitta and the Boddhicitta in action. Or more technically, it is known as aspirational Boddhicitta and the engaged Boddhicitta. So what is the difference? In Tibetan, the first one is Mönsen, and the second one is Juksen. Mönsen, Juksen. Aspirational Bodhicitta and the engaged Bodhicitta. And the difference, and the different philosophical schools, they come up with the different standpoints, but according to the highest Buddhist school, which is Prasangika, and the difference is pretty simple. That the first moment of generation Bodhicitta, the first moment you generate, may I become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings, when it becomes very spontaneous experience, where you truly feel that your mind expands with compassion, taking the responsibility, and that too, taking the responsibility in ways by committing yourself to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. That first moment of generation Bodhicitta, that is known as the aspirational Bodhicitta. The first moment that you generate, the spontaneous experience, first moment of the spontaneous experience of the Bodhicitta is referred to as the aspirational Bodhicitta. Then from the second moment down becomes engaged Bodhicitta. And what is the difference? The difference, of course, the first moment when you say that may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings is in the form of aspiration, may. But once you make this aspiration, because there is a very genuine, it's a spontaneous, very intense way in which you have been cultivating for the last many lives, or in some cases many lives, and in some cases maybe if you have already practiced bodhicitta from the past lives, then within this lifetime you may be able to generate more quickly. And so because of the long, many years, many lifetimes of the practice finally culminates in the form of this spontaneous experience, then you are very serious. It's not just like you go there, somebody says, okay, Jan Bodhicitta, and may I become. No, this is just the similitude of what you're supposed to be generating. Finally, when you generate it in full-fledged form, then it becomes very intense, and then you will actually put effort to materialize this aspiration. This aspiration, may I become Buddha? You have to do something to become Buddha, not to just leave it on the aspirational level. You have to do something. So which means engaged. You engage in the activities to make this aspiration come true. So second moment down, automatically you engage in everything that you do. For example, it says that Bodhisattva Arideva, in his text, 400 verses, he said that for the Bodhisattvas, every movement, even the breathing is for the benefit of other sentient beings. Everything that you do, just look at His Holiness the Dalai Lama. It's just amazing, such an inspiration. Anything that he does is just for the sentient beings. His mind ever increases, expands, never shrinks. Never shrinks. So just keep expanding, and it's just for the benefit of sentient beings. Keep expanding, keep thinking about others, never thinks about himself at all. So this is the Boddhicitta, the engaged Boddhicitta. And I remember one time, I think it was in Central America, I'm not going to tell you which country exactly that is, one of the countries in Central America, and His Holiness was invited by the, I think, finance minister of that country for luncheon. They honored His Holiness with the luncheon, and then at the end of the luncheon, then the finance minister requested His Holiness if he can have a photograph with His Holiness. Then His Holiness says, yes, really said yes. So, on the finance minister of that country, His Holiness, the entourage members of the finance minister, and then His Holiness entourage members all together. And then by protocol, the food servers, and the chef and all the cooks, they sit round, stand round like this, and the main guest, His Holiness, and the host, the finance minister, they were on a table for the luncheon. And then once that is done, then for the group photograph, by protocol, all these staff, they were standing like this there. And His Holiness, for him, protocol, formalities, doesn't make any sense for His Holiness. For His Holiness is extremely practical, grounded on compassion. So then His Holiness can easily break the protocols. His Holiness said, hey, you people, what are you doing there? Why are you standing there? By protocol, they have to stand there. And people, the guests, hosts, they are all eating food, and they have to keep standing there. This is protocol. His Holiness said, why are you standing there? Come for the photograph. And it is a breach of the protocol for them. It's a nation's protocol, and they did not dare to come. But His Holiness said, what are you doing? Come here. Then it's the chief guest asking them to come. So they have to come. Again, if they don't comply with this, again it's another breach of protocol. So they start coming, and they started coming with great hesitancy because the finance minister was here. And then particularly there was one lady who dare not come, standing there and said, hey, you, what are you doing? Come. And then all the cooks, chef, the food servers come, and then He was pushing all the finance minister, everybody pushed aside. And He was spreading His arms around all these cooks like this to the photograph. And then literally people there, these cooks and the staff, they were literally crying to see that there's somebody in their life have never seen such a person, the VIP who treats everybody as equal, as so loving. For the first time in their life, they've seen that. They were running to tears to feel this love of His Holiness. So this is Boddhicitta. So with this in mind, the Boddhicitta is of two kinds. One is aspiration Boddhicitta, and the other one is engaged Boddhicitta. Now, the whole purpose is, with the Boddhicitta, our job is what? May I become Buddha. How to become Buddha? The seat of perfection, seat of Buddhahood is within us. Our job is simply remove the mental dirt and then let the seed of Buddhahood, the treasure inside, be unraveled. Let it happen. So, as the great Acharya Nagabodhi, a student of Nagarjuna, said, Buddhahood is not bestowed upon you by anyone. Let me repeat it. Buddhahood is not bestowed upon you by anyone. Nor is the cause of the Buddhahood held by anyone for you. It is you, by discovering your own Buddha nature, that you become a Buddha. This is what Acharya Nagabodhi said. So you have to discover. It's already there within us. The moment you discover that, how to discover it? Remove the dirt. And the beautiful, amazing, expansive Buddha nature, purity, luminosity, the luminous nature of the Buddhahood will become awakened, that manifest. So for that matter, we need to resort to a very powerful remedy. What is the remedy? What is the remedy to cleanse the mind of the mental defilement? What is the remedy? The wisdom of emptiness, non-dual wisdom of emptiness. This wisdom of emptiness must be used, and by using this, then the mental defilements will be removed. The first layer, second layer, third layer, removed one by one. So this is known as the Gate, Paragate, Parasangate, Bodhi, Swaha. It's just the stages of cleansing the mind of the mental defilements. Gate, meaning that remove the mind of the mental defilements. In these, say, this mantra is the Heart Sutra mantra. And in Sanskrit it is Gate, Para, Samvade, Bodhiswa. In English, go beyond, go utterly beyond, and go beyond, go utterly beyond, and establish your full awakening. So this is the meaning. So go, when it says go, it's not an external journey, it's a mental journey of cleansing the mind. Go from the state of totally murky state to the state of greater purity. From there again go to still greater purity, and still greater purity, and finally to the final purity state, the pure state of the full awakening. So that is when all the mental dirts, afflictive obscurations and carnal obscurations all are cleansed, and the Buddha energy inside manifests completely. Okay, so there's the mention of the five, and you may be, okay, those seniors, you already know that, but the newcomers say, why five? Is it just accidental that it's five, or there should be 3 or 4 or 6, 7, 5? Because these are technical concepts behind these words. Go. It's not just go. There's a reason there. These are the 5 stages. These are the 5 stages of purifying your mind. Okay. So the 5 stages are also referred to as the 5 paths. 5 paths. P-A-T-H-S. 5 paths. The first one is the path of accumulation. Second one is path of preparation. Third one is path of seeing. Fourth one is path of meditation. And the fifth one is path of no more learning. These are the 5 paths. Okay, let me quickly explain these 5 paths. The first one, path of accumulation. Path of accumulation begins. The path of accumulation begins the the moment you generate a genuine, innate, spontaneous bodhicitta, the innate feeling, intense, innate feeling, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, happen, at that point you enter the first path of accumulation. And at that point you are referred to as Rishi. Did you hear about Bodhisattva? Yes? What is Bodhisattva? Okay.
Someone who's seen the wisdom of emptiness and is on.
Okay, so now let us be more technical, right? And not just like a vague idea. I heard something Bodhisattva, right? So what is Bodhisattva technically? Anyone, what's the difference between Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas? What's the difference between Buddhas and Bodhisattvas? Anyone, raise hands. What is the difference between Buddhas and Bodhisattvas? Anyone, the Russian group? Russian group, anyone? Or non-Russian group, anyone? Raise hands. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, difference, anyone? Anyone? Okay, we have, okay, here, Thomas.
Bodhisattva is someone who strives to awaken for the sake of every being. Buddha is someone who has attained the fruit of the path, the complete and full awakening.
Okay, Bodhisattva is someone who
strives to awaken for every sentient
okay,
being.
Bodhisattva is someone who strives or who aspires to become Buddha. Whereas the Buddha is somebody who has already attained the Buddhahood. You're getting it? It is like somebody who is struggling, who is putting effort to go to a place, and the other one is the one who has already reached there. In other words, to make it very simple, some people say that if you don't learn this technically and as systematically, the problem is that we get very naive ideas. Some people say that Bodhisattvas are greater than the Buddhas. Some people say like this, very strange things. Bodhisattvas are greater than, why? Buddhas, they already left us. They don't take care of the sentient beings. They already left us. And Bodhisattvas, they promise to come back. This is too naive. You're getting it? What is a Bodhisattva? Meaning, sattva meaning courageous one. Bodhi is the full awakened enlightenment, Buddhahood. Somebody who aspires to become Buddha. So if that person, a Bodhisattva, if that's greater, then he will not, the greater person, somebody who did, say somebody who did the PhD, will not strive to go for masters. You're getting it? Okay, Nastya. Nastya has a burning question, I can see that. Her hand coming up. Yeah. Yes, Nastya.
I want to correct something. On Sanskrit, sattva means the being. That means that sattva is, sat is a verb to be. Bodhisattva, that means that the being which was become a Buddha, yeah, which understood this, which сейчас давайте я лучше на русском скажу. Ну, собственно, бодхисаттва — это существо, которое достигло состояния пробуждения, но при этом оно остается в сансаре для того, чтобы помогать другим существам. Поэтому здесь важным является как раз-таки часть корня сат. То есть это существо, которое остается. А Будда — это просто от глагола будх — пробудиться, то есть он уже вышел в нирвану, все так.
Nastya said that Bodhisattva is a being who already attained Buddhahood, but remains in samsara, and here we need to pay emphasis for the root, Sanskrit root, sat, whereas Buddha, derived from the Sanskrit root Bodh, this is a being which already left samsara and is in nirvana. Direct translation.
Okay, so the young people, young people, we see only one direction. Old people see many directions. You get? Say the word, for example, earlier I thought that Sanskrit is a very rich language. Of course, it is very sophisticated language. One word has so many meanings. Later on, as I grow older, I come to discover that it is with all languages, not only Sanskrit. But of course, the sophistication of the grammar and so forth. This is amazing Sanskrit. But one word having multiple meanings. This, I thought that it was initially it was with the Sanskrit. Later on, with the Tibetan language, I took for granted because I'm a Tibetan. I took for granted. Later on, say people who are learning Tibetan, they learn Tibetan partially, like my Sanskrit, Nastia's Sanskrit, like this. Learning partially this Geshe, Tibetan word, this means this. I said, no, this has multiple meanings. You're getting it? This is what we have to understand it. So, the same word has multiple meaning. What you know may be only one aspect of the meaning. Don't confine to this. So the point is that this is where people just picking up one meaning and think that this is the full meaning. It's not like this. This is number one. Number two, what is Bodhisattva? Bodhisattva, so the contradiction that I'm pointing to this, many people are very naive. They think that Bodhisattva is a greater. This is exactly what the Nastia said. Bodhisattva, they already attain enlightenment and they come back. This is a total naivety. I'm restating this. This is total naivety. If you already attain enlightenment and come back, why should you attain enlightenment in the first place? Why do you attain it? Why do you attain it? This contradiction. You're getting it? So they say there are surface meaning. There's always, for the words, technical terms, there's surface meaning and the deeper meaning. Don't get stuck with the surface meaning. You're getting it? So particularly, if I learn Sanskrit, unless I become like somewhat close to the native Sanskrit speakers, my tendency is to always get stuck with the surface meaning. So therefore, don't get stuck to the surface meaning. For example, if you get stuck to surface meaning, I will give you an example. I will give example. What's a problem when you get stuck with the surface meaning? Did I share this? Did I share this story with you? Attachment in this class. I shared it. You're getting it. Say the monk teacher. Monk teacher, for him, attachment means desire. Whereas the word attachment, don't interpret attachment as always desire. You're getting it? Oh no, attachment means desire, grasping. No, there's one aspect. But in the computer science, attachment is very different. Right? Even the arhats, they can send email with attachments. You're getting it? So let us not be confined. So whatever you understand something, don't think that this is the only way. There are many ways of understanding it. The same word has multiple shades of meaning. You're getting it? This is what we need to remember. Okay, so in other words, Bodhisattva, say, for example, say if you want to go to Dharamsala, Dharamsala is your destination. So people who are on the way to Dharamsala, this is one, and someone who has already reached Dharamsala, two. Those who are on the way to Dharamsala is, for example, Buddhahood. And on the way to Dharamsala, these people are known as Bodhisattvas. Those who are already in Dharamsala, they are the Buddhas, they have already attained their goal. As Thomas said, this is distinction. So with this in mind, So, what we said is that when do you become a bodhisattva? Is when you generate the spontaneous desire, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. If you don't have this desire, you're not a bodhisattva. And you have the desire, which means that he or she is yet to attain Buddhahood and wanting to attain that, which means that this person sees Buddhahood as the ultimate goal. That's the supreme. And the moment you generate this feeling, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, you initially for the first time, you are entitled as a bodhisattva. Bodhisattva doesn't mean that someone who's very highly realized. Anyone, you, me, anyone, through this practice, what we have learned, the two methods, you practice on a daily basis, and then in real life, you engage in some form of the compassion action, like what Brother Elvin and Sister Christy, what they're doing. And then I know that there are many of you who are being of service to the community, selfless service. For example, like here, one best example would be the Mr. Kabir Singh, the one who took charge of the Root Institute. He was the founding director of the Root Institute. And now, when the Root Institute was going through the transition of the staff, many of the earlier staff, the director, and me, they already resigned. And now there's a vacuum left. Again, he came to hold it. No expectation in return, just to be of service to the Buddha Dharma. So that is, these are the examples. These are examples. Likewise, the tall guy, Mr. Rajesh, what he's doing is just amazing. You're getting it? So anybody who is pious to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings, when that thought becomes spontaneous, innate, at that point you're a bodhisattva. But when you say you're a bodhisattva, doesn't mean that, oh, bodhisattva, that you are high level. No, bodhisattva, within bodhisattvas, there are various levels. Gate, paragate, parasangade. 4 levels are there. 5th one is the Buddha. Bodhiswaha is the Buddha. The first 4, they're the bodhisattvas. Gate. First one is part of accumulation. Second one is part of preparation. Third one is part of seeing. Fourth one is part of meditation. First, part of accumulation. Why the first one is known as part of accumulation? It's because that you are trying to build a castle of Buddhahood. The metaphor of building a castle of the Buddhahood, becoming Buddha. For to build a castle of Buddhahood, you have to have the raw materials required. You have to accumulate the raw materials to build the castle of the Buddhahood. What are the raw materials for becoming Buddha? Raw materials to cleanse them out of the mental defilements. The wisdom is one. And the other factors to enhance this wisdom, the merit accumulation and the wisdom accumulation. These two are required to be gathered. So this is known as the path of accumulation. The phase before you actually start building, you have to gather the materials. A material of wisdom and a material of merit and the wisdom. So that is the phase when you are primarily working to gather these materials, meditation and wisdom, and then engage in the practice of generosity, ethical discipline, patience, enthusiasm, meditative concentration, skillfulness, aspiration, prayers, power, and primordial wisdom, and so forth. So you are gathering these materials. Then what is next? Path of preparation. What is next? Path of seeing. Now, path of preparation, I will jump to it a little later. First, let me do the path of seeing. So finally, our job is what? What is that journey? That journey is the journey of cleansing the mind of the mental defilements. You agree? Cleanse the mind of mental defilements. And how to cleanse the mind? By applying the remedy. What is the remedy? The wisdom of emptiness. And what is that wisdom of emptiness like? There are various levels of wisdom of emptiness, conceptual experience of emptiness, non-dual wisdom of emptiness. There are various levels of the wisdom of emptiness, and the wisdom which is required, which can actually remove the mental defilements, is the direct realization of wisdom of emptiness. Direct realization of the emptiness. The wisdom which directly realizes the emptiness, that's the capacity to actually cleanse the mind of the mental defilements. So that wisdom to see emptiness directly, anytime the individual, the bodhisattva, sees emptiness directly, that is known as the bodhisattva on the path of seeing. Seeing here is to see emptiness directly. That's the path of seeing. Now, the path before the path of seeing, what is that path? Path of preparation. Because the path of seeing is the main actual remedy to remove the mental defilements. So before that, you are not remove the mental defilements. You are mitigating. You are mitigating the power of mitigating meaning. Mitigating means make the negative forces less powerful. You are not uprooting them. Uprooting happens from seeing emptiness directly, the path of seeing. Before that, you just mitigate the power of the mental defilements. Mitigate, to suppress. That's it. So, part of preparation, the second one, part of preparation is preparing yourself to see emptiness directly. Preparing yourself to see emptiness directly. So, we're part of accumulation, part of preparation, part of seeing. So, part of seeing is like, for example, let's say that if you're suffering from tuberculosis, and you know that you don't know that you are suffering from tuberculosis, and then you have fever, you have headache, you have the sweating, and okay, I have fever. You then take paracetamol or Tylenol, right? Rishi, Tylenol or paracetamol? Okay, because you're young, you only see in America, you have not seen the other countries. This is young people's problem. Only Tylenol, not the paracetamol. Both. You're going to get Tylenol in America. Okay. So, say you take paracetamol or Tylenol, whatever. You take that and your fever subsides. Again it comes back. Again it comes back. Because why it is coming back? Because you are not tackling the root. You are not tackling the root. This paracetamol is not tackling the root. You are only tackling you are going for the symptomatic treatment. You are not going for the root. You are not cutting the root of the defilements. You are just dealing with this. You're going for the symptomatic treatment. You're getting symptoms, immediate symptoms, like the fever. You take the paracetamol, Tylenol, paracetamol, and then the fever subsides for 1 or 2 hours. Okay. So so this is what you say, part of accumulation, part of preparation. These two are like taking the Tylenol or taking paracetamol. Then when you is part of seeing, you actually take the medication for the tuberculosis. Isoniazid, rifampicin, Damdul. You are actually taking these antibiotics. So these will actually eradicate the tuberculosis from the root. Okay. Now my point is that for how long you have to take these antibiotics if you're suffering from tuberculosis? Anyone, any idea? Anyone who suffered from tuberculosis in your life? Anyone who suffered from tuberculosis from life? Okay, one over there and one over here, 2. Right? Okay, JC, tell me, how long you have to take the antibiotics? For how long? 6 to 9 months. Okay. So let's say that you got medicines. So thus far you and I have been taking the paracetamol and Tylenol. So this boy sent Tylenol from USA, from California. Right? So we've been taking this. Asymptomatic treatment happens. But again, it relapses. Finally, we got the actual medication, which is isoniazid, rifampicin, Damdul. You get these medicines. Okay. And the doctor said that take these medicines and you're probably over for good. Then you take it today. Okay, I'm telling you, all of you, I take this medicine today. You are the doctor. I take this medicine today, and then tomorrow I come to you and tell you that You told me that if I take these medicines, these antibiotics, my problem will be over. I took it yesterday, and it still have the tuberculosis. What will you say? Anyone? Huh? Who's that? Yes. It takes time. Yes, I took 1 day. More time. Which means, what should I do? Then I took the medicine 1 day and leave it there and wait. Keep taking it. Okay. Keep taking this medication. This is known as this. Look, although you have the you don't do anything extra. Just keep taking this medicine, but repeat it. Repeat it every day. Repeat it. Repeat this. Repeating the virtue is known as meditation. Repeating the virtue is known as meditation. So the path of number 3 is the path of seeing. Path of seeing, you have got the remedy to remove the mental defilements. This remedy must be repeated over and over again. That is known as next path. What is next path? Path of meditation. You're getting it? Whatever you have seen emptiness directly. That direct realization emptiness must be repeated over and over again. That is known as meditation. That takes you to the path of meditation. So, with this repeated taking of the medication for the 6 months to 9 months, what happens? Then your tuberculosis is over completely. Your mental defilement is completely over, and the Buddha energy inside becomes vibrant. So like the water, like the dirty water, you keep subjecting this water to purification process, reverse osmosis, ultrafiltration. But just keep doing this, then finally what happens? All the dirt, they were removed, and what happens? The clean water, pure water manifests. You're getting it? Pure water manifests. All the material defilements are repeatedly removed over and over again. Finally, when everything is removed, afflictive obscurations, cognitive obscurations, all removed completely, then the Buddha nature inside does not remain as Buddha nature. It becomes Buddha, full awakening, where you experience total fearlessness, you experience infinite happiness. This is what we have been seeking. Everybody is seeking. You have attained that. Not only that, you attain these 2 states, your mind simply expands like the light trapped in the pot. You break the pot, and the light inside will just spread, escape to every atom of the room. Likewise, your mind, the pot of the mental defilements, afflictive and cognitive, when broken completely, the mind, like the light, will spread across every atom of the universe. That is, your mind has become omniscient because it knows every atom of the universe. This is known as the full awakening. Okay, done. Now, there are a few questions left. I'll do the questions. Okay, the first question, number 1 says, how does dedication benefit others? Does it change external world? What are reasons for, okay, first one, does it change external world? Merit dedication. These are very subtle and the nuanced operation of your mind. Merit, wisdom. These are all the nuances of your mind, operation of the mind, how the mind works. And let's say that the impure gold reacts very difficult, will not react so easily. Very pure gold reacts so fast, so effectively with mercury. Very pure gold, it reacts so fast. So when the mind is so well trained, then these merit accumulation, dedication, and so forth, the effect is so effective. For example, say, it says that that was many years ago when I was in my 20s, in the monastery, in the Tibetan settlement, there's the Tibetan, the Tibetan medical doctor, Tibetan medical clinic that was very popular amongst the Indians. Amongst Indians, you wouldn't believe, local Indians say, early morning, 4 a.m. people, the local Indians, they were in queue for this. And why? The Tibetans, they take the Tibetan medicine, it's not effective. Local Indians, they take the Tibetan medicine, very effective. You know why? Tibetan blood is different. No, because Tibetans, they are not disciplined. Not disciplined with their food. The doctors say, don't eat meat, don't eat this, don't eat sour. They eat meat, they eat sour, everything. Local Indians, the doctor says, don't eat sour, don't eat stale food, they don't eat. They take this medicine, half an hour gap, they keep half an hour gap. Tibetans keep a half an hour gap, they say yes, yes, yes. And then they eat the food and they take the medicine directly. So the benefit is not there. Because the mind is, the body is not set to feel the effect. But the local Indians, they follow the instructions of doctors verbatim. Therefore, the Tibetan medicine is so effective for them. So, the point is that your mind, when our mind is trained so well, then the merit, how the merit can actually maneuver your mind. Say, even your dream, you can control your dream. All these things happen when you are able to discipline your mind so well. If you cannot discipline the mind, then we talk about dream yoga and so forth. You will have, at maximum, you will have a good sleep, that's it. No dream yoga. Real dream yoga happens when we actually discipline ourselves so much. Boddhicitta, wisdom of emptiness, all these things are intact. Then the, say, generosity, ethical discipline, patience, enthusiasm, all these factors are combined together. Then the invoking the blessings of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas and so forth, then these will be very powerful. So in other words, in simple terms, your dedicated merit is good. That if you have a special connection, for example, somebody died, and you do some practice, bodhicitta, whatever, and you dedicate the merit for that person. The benefit, if the stronger the karmic connection with you, more the other person will receive the benefit. But if you pray that, by the power of this merit accumulation of the 10-day retreat, may the Trump, his election reverse. It will not reverse. Done. The next 4 years, he's the king of the world. You're getting it? Do you agree with me? By the power of this merit, Buddha, please, the Trump's election, reverse it. You cannot reverse it. You will not change the external world. But that your compassion grows. Your compassion grows. May I dedicate the merit for you, which means that not for you, me, for you. Your sense of concern builds up. Your sense of concern grows. Your compassion grows. Next question. What are the reasons for particular number of recitations of mantras and prostrations, quotas and so on? Okay, this is a very good question, thank you. So, how many mantras to recite? The beats, there are 108 beats. Why 108 is fine? Make it 100 is fine. Make it 99 is fine. Make it 80 is fine. Right? Because if you don't set a limit, if you don't set some standard, people may come with very strange beats. Beats with 1,000. Some may come with the beats with only five beats. Well, how can you say one is wrong, one is right? You have to set some standard so that there's uniformity there. You're getting it? And people take it very seriously. Why 8? Why 108? I mean, just count. Recite mantra. But don't talk about why 108. Recite mantra. 108 more is better. You're getting it? Be very realistic. Be very practical. You're getting it? Okay. So, therefore, the numbers don't really matter too much. Now, people can become too infatuated with these things. They don't practice at all. They say, which number is correct? 3. In this text it says 3. Recite the mantra. It doesn't matter which recite mantra, right? Or the say pizza should be like this, like that. It doesn't matter. Eat it. Finally, pizza is to eat, and your hunger should be removed, right? Pizza should have the tomato on, right? Without tomato, pizza with there's no sauce there. It's not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You eat it. If it's delicious, your hunger gone. Good. Right? And you don't eat the pizza and you say, no, pizza should not be like, it should be like this, it should be like this. You talk about it all the time. Not eating it, your hunger will never go away. So therefore, and some people, they talk about this all the time. They don't actually practice. They don't practice. So we need to practice. In other words, be compassionate. Say, combat with our ego. Combat with our anger. Combat your anger, combat your ego. Be compassionate. In whatever capacity we can be of benefit to others. Benefit others. Your life will keep exhausting. So, without compassion, no. Always being negative. Still you grow old. Be positive. You grow old. By being positive, the good thing is that your mind becomes rich. Physical body will keep degenerating, but your mind will become very rich. By being negative, body becomes old, degenerate. Your mind is filled with garbage. And this garbage will throw us into an unfavorable birth next time. We have to keep shedding tears in samsara endlessly because of being negative all the time. Okay. The next question. Question number 2. If the person ate something and got sick because of it, it's not a karma, right? Or there's a small karma there. What about if the person ate something and died because of it? Is it karma? Okay. In other words, whatever good things happen to you on the experience level, whatever good things happen to you, whatever bad things happen to you, as a result, the resultant state, these are all the karmic results. You getting it? That's all the karmic result. Karmic result doesn't mean that you become handicapped. It's already fixed but determined by the past. No. Karma is something. Karma, there are two kinds. Very powerful karma and a weak karma. And the powerful karma, we cannot do much. For example, let's say that I wish, to be very honest, I wish that Trump should not win the election. I truly wish it. And you say it's not about my personal interest. If I'm an American, to be very honest, if I'm American, he actually mobbed the American Capitol. How can you elect somebody who actually came to destroy the American Capitol as the president? Just unimaginable. It's crazy. Somebody who, you love your house. You love your house, and somebody who comes to destroy the house, how can you make him the president of the house? So what I'm saying is that this is it. But he won the election. There is the ripening of a very powerful negative karma for the other people, and the ripening of very powerful positive karma of himself. Because he wanted to become the president, and he became powerful ripening of very powerful positive karma of him. Otherwise, through all these the debates, there's no chance that he was going to win. There's no chance. But he won miraculously. There's a ripening of very powerful karma, positive karma of Trump. And a ripening of very powerful negative karma of the people who really have a feel for the world, feel for America. The ripening negative karma for them. We cannot do. So these, and say for example, the mother tells the child that, hey, my son, my daughter, study well. Don't hang up to the mobile all the time. Facebook, Instagram, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Don't do that. Study well. And you never studied. And finally you failed in the exam. And the mother says, look, now I told you, you're going to fail. Mom, what you do is my karma. Mom, what you do is my karma. If I have karma to pass, in any way I'll pass. if a karma to fail, even if I study for hours and hours and hours, I'll fail. It's my karma. This is the abuse of the concept of karma. This is not the understanding of karma. This is abuse of the concept of karma. Because, why abuse? The karma is of two kinds. Very powerful karma and a weak karma. So, by not studying, you're activating the weak karma, activating the weak karma to fail you. But not studying. If you study, that study will stop the weak karma to fail. This study will help to activate will ripen the weak karma to pass. So this weak karma for you to pass, this will be activated when you study. So that karma ripens and you pass. When you don't study, the karma for you to fail, that gets activated. So that's in your hand. Whereas with the very powerful karmas, we can't do much. Only when you are highly realized, with a highly realized wisdom of emptiness and the Boddhicitta, they can actually change the course of even the very powerful karmas. For example, it said that in Tibet, before Tibet was invaded by communist Chinese, before Tibet was annexed by CCP, when Tibet was independent, what happened at Lhasa, where two of you been there, to Lhasa? Venerable, the Brother Alvin, you been there? Or Sister Christy, you went there. So, the Lhasa, there was a river passing by this city. And at one point, the river was, the level of the river, it is rising. There was a danger that this whole city is going to be flooded by the river. And then so much of puja done to stop this. Of course, in those days, we did not really have the facilities, and there was many years ago, we did not have the facilities. Today, I would say that instead of puja, I would rather say that, to create to block the water rising, But in those days, no facilities. So they were doing lots of puja, stopped it. And then it cannot be stopped. No puja by the Sakya, Kagyu, Nyingma, Geluk, any puja done, nothing helped. It kept rising. That the danger of the flooding was there. Then finally there was this, His Holiness the Ganden Tirimbuche. There was His Holiness Ganden Tirimbuche. And finally they became so desperate. Then the Lhasa municipal, the officials, they went to this His Holiness Ganden Tirimbuche. Please do something. Now the city is going to be flooded. Please stop this. He said that I have no power. And they requested, please don't do like this. Please do something. Then he said, okay, I have no power. Since you're insisting, I'll go there. So he went there. And in fact, he was a great bodhisattva. So what he said, he went to the river and talked to the river that if I am a bodhisattva, the course of the river should change. He said it. So this is known as, in Tibetan we call it Damdul. Damdul means proclaiming the truth, that I'm a bodhisattva. Proclaiming the truth. Not that I'm a human being. This is truth. But it doesn't have any weight. Whereas I'm a bodhisattva. If I'm a bodhisattva, this is a gravity there. Then the moment it happens, the river gradually changes the course of its movement. These miracles can happen. So as a memory of that, every year the monks, they observe that in memory of that, they observe that day of this great and then the master saving the city from being flooded. The monks carrying some stones every year, and that day as a gesture of stopping the river from flooding. Okay. Done. Number 3. Could you please tell us something about Aryatara feet? I don't know what is Aritara feet. I don't know. Anyone? Is anybody who wrote this? Are you there? Okay. What is Aritara treat? Aritara feet.
Feet. Feet.
What is that? What do you mean by that? Pandala.
Yes, I know the word in Spanish is in Spanish is hazaña.
Oh, the
yeah,
sadhana? Aritara sadhana.
No, wait, Geshe, please.
Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We will keep it later. You explain this to me later. Okay, next question. The few questions. We are time up now. So still we have few questions. Number 4. My family members do not speak English. Are of the Christian faith, and it seems unlikely that they will encounter with teachings on emptiness. I feel very fortunate that I have encountered with these teachings. Given that I'm unqualified to share teachings on emptiness, what should I do? How can I share with them skillfully, since this is the only liberating path? This is very true. So what I would say is that if the other person is Christian or whatever religion, don't force, don't disturb them. Don't disturb them. Instead, set a good example that you are following the Buddha's teachings. The thing is that be compassionate. This message that I got, somebody sent me this message by, what is his name? Tolstoy? William Tolstoy. What is his name? Leo Tolstoy. What is that? Was that I don't want to listen about your religion. Don't tell me about your religion. I want to see your religion in your action. This is a big message. You're getting it? I don't talk to me about Buddhism. I want to see Buddhism in your action. You're getting it? Set a good example. Be compassionate. Be compassionate. Don't disturb them. Be compassionate. Be calm. Don't be what? What do you call that? Restless, easily agitated person. Right? Be a good example. Then they will see Buddhism, they will see emptiness in your action. You're getting it? Emptiness action and Boddhicitta in action. When you see that, then when they go through difficulties, they will come to you. How should I think? I have this mental problem. The medicine's not helping. And nothing helps me. I can't sleep properly. Please, you seem so calm, peaceful. You're an amazing example. Tell me something. Is there something in your Buddha, in the religion, how to keep your mind calm, right? Tell me. Okay. Then they will come to you. You don't go to preach. They'll come to you. Then you can explain a little bit. Or you can direct, if you know somebody who can explain things very easily, comfortably, you can direct the person to that person. In fact, why I'm saying this, be a good example. Not just you, me, all of us. We should be good examples for other people. Be compassionate. The first thing is be compassionate. Be honest. Not harm others. Not be cruel. Right? Simply because you have the power doesn't mean that you can abuse your power. Right? Come tomorrow. Somebody who came all the way 1 hour, 2 hours in the heat, you can simply give a signature. That's the work. And you say, come tomorrow, time up, come tomorrow. What time up? You can do it right now. What's the problem? Such people are there. Then in the process, you may be able to torture somebody, but you accumulate enormous negative karma where you don't benefit anything. Next life, you will suffer the same thing, worse than this. So, be a good example. So, I'll share one anecdote. These are real things. Once in my office, we have the same, people come to meet me. And once there was, usually whoever comes to my office, I come to know where this person coming from. Always coming from through somebody. So there was one lady who said that I'm the principal of a school. And somehow when talking to her, I could not get any clue as to where she how she came to know about Tibet House. Then I asked her directly, how did you know about Tibet House? Listen, this is whoever asked this question, remember this story. I asked, how did you come to know about Tibet House? Because she's very educated, school principal. And she said, oh, this is interesting. This is what she said. That in my colony meaning it's a group of the houses. In my colony, for the last 7 years, I saw one lady passing by. Never, even not even a single day, I've seen her agitated. I see her so calm, extremely gentle, calm, peaceful. Every day, across the last 7 days, I never saw her agitated. And I was so wondering, I'm the school principal, I'm very educated. And I should be able to maintain my calmness, but I am full of agitation, irritation, and so forth. And how come this lady maintains calmness the last 7 years? No agitation. Look at her. There's a great elegance there, passing by, coming. Anybody looks at her would feel the calmness, would feel the healing effect. So one day, she said that I gathered my courage to go to her directly when she passed by, just to meet her directly and ask her directly. And good afternoon. And she said, good afternoon. And may I ask one question? She said, yes. And never did I see you in agitation. The last 7 years. Tell me, what is the secret of this? She said, no, nothing. Nothing. I'm just holding on, nothing. I go to Tibet House. Right. Then she Googles the Tibet House. She Googles the Tibet House. And she found the address, and this is how she came. Right? So what I'm saying, be a good example. Be a good example. Somebody who is unknown to you. These people are actually impressed by you, of your example. Don't speak about Buddhism. Don't speak your religion. Let the Buddhism be seen in your action. Be a good example. The next. Okay, this number 5 is done. Oh, not done, but we cannot do. Opposition. What is the opposite of subjective? What is the opposite of subjectivity? In the context of autonomous substantial real, we cannot do it. If you want to do it, these brochures are available. These brochures are available. You will get these brochures and study from this brochure. It's all in this brochure. Same. Question 6, number 7. Okay. It says, I'm a bit confused with the text from the Gift of Yudhradhana Sutra, like how the person who listens to the teaching of emptiness can generate more merit than Bodhisattva practicing 6 perfections. For example, me who listen teaching on emptiness many times, but don't practice generosity, can create more merits than Bodhisattvas. Okay. Say, a car, the mileage of the car. What's the mileage of a car? What's the mileage of a car? 60 kilometers per liter of gas. Not 60, let's say what? 30 kilometers or 20 kilometers. The car is so efficient, 30 kilometers per liter. 1 liter of the gas or the petrol can make this car run 30 kilometers. Are you sure? Yes. So this is a mileage, which means this is efficiency. Then you drive the car on a very bumpy road. On a very bumpy road, and where there's the sand dune, tuk karke stuck, and only 2 kilometers, and all finished. Right? And then you call the company. You said 30 kilometers per hour, no, 30 kilometers per liter, and I just in 2 kilometers finished, right? You deceived me. Your car runs only 2 kilometers per liter. You said mileage. Yes, what's the problem? And did you drive it on a smooth road? He said, no, bumpy road. And then on the road where there's no sand, oh, it's very sandy, sand dune. This mileage is provided all the other conditions are intact. This mileage makes sense, provided all the other conditions are intact. Road is smooth, you're getting it? No bumpy road, road is smooth, no sand where there's a friction is cut. You require friction to run effectively. Without friction, it becomes slippery, it cannot run. So, provided all the conditions are intact, then mileage means that the capacity of the car to run 30 kilometers per liter, where all the other conditions are intact, like smooth road, no lack of friction, friction is also required, all this is intact, then it runs. This is the meaning of the mileage. It doesn't mean that there's somebody blocks your car and you are 10 like this, like using your petrol, and not even the 10 meters, they're all gone. This is not meaning of the mileage. You're getting it? Likewise, when you say all the conditions are intact, same between the two bodhisattvas. You bodhisattva, other one is also bodhisattva, and the extra thing that you have is that you have the wisdom of emptiness and the other does not have. So there, your accumulation merit then far excels that of the other bodhisattvas. Don't forget the mileage, car mileage. Next, the last one. I must go for this opportunity. I am returning back to Narendra University this afternoon. Okay, that's done. This is just a comment. Done. Okay, so now we will say we'll take a short break, about like 30 minutes tea break, which is at the moment is 4:45. We'll come back at, hey, neuroscientists, 5:15. We'll come back at 5:15 sharp. Okay. Om Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswatyata Om Teaching the Buddha John. Ravela. Dita. Atyata Om Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswaha. Okay, we'll come back at 5:15 sharp. And the Brother Elvin, Sister Christy, your team. So the book that you have, please take it with you as a souvenir from Root Institute. By the way, in any ways, it's your book. Yeah. And we have this another small booklet for all of you. And for the rest of us, this small booklet will be distributed at the end of the teaching. At the end of the meeting, at the next session, completion of the next session. We will, okay, quick. Okay, so we have Rajeshi who likes to say something. Yes.
Hello, everybody. Tomorrow morning breakfast will be 6:45, and then we will be leaving 7:30 to go to His Holiness residence near Mahabodhi. And this is I have to announce. And if anybody want to go to visit Rinpoche house. Now it's okay, Gishila?
Not now.
Okay. Later, maybe tomorrow. Lama Zopa Rinpoche house, tomorrow, after His Holiness residence. Maybe tomorrow, before lunch or after lunch. Thank you.
Okay. The idea is that Rajesh so kindly requested the caretakers of His Holiness's residence next to the Mahabodhi temple, if the group here can make a visit and receive blessings by visiting His Holiness's residence tomorrow, and the caretakers, they so gladly accepted, so kindly accepted, and Venerable Pandanla, who used to come for the teaching the mornings, you remember him, and he so kindly offered to offer tea and snacks for all of us in the hall of His Holiness's residence, for all of us. So please feel free to visit tomorrow. I'm also coming there, and to receive blessings from His Holiness. And then you will see His Holiness Palace. You may feel that His Holiness was a king. Now he abdicated, or he devolved his own political power, but otherwise he was a king. And people have the naive thought that, oh, His Holiness Palace must be so elaborate. We go there and then we will see this is His Holiness's simplicity. You will see that. So we'll go there, we'll pay a visit to His Holiness's residence there, seek blessings, and then the Venerable Pandela so kindly offered Rajesh and told two of us that he would be happy to organize tea and snacks for all of us. And this will be done there. This is one part. And then that Lama Subramani's the residence here also, you want to make visit. And then the Rajesh is saying a specific time, you can visit there. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so the morning breakfast is going to be very quick.
6:45.
6:45 morning breakfast, 7:30 we leave from here. 40. And how do we go?
We can
The three electric cars.
electric
Okay.
cars.
Electric, the three-wheelers, we will take that. Okay. That's it. And then at 5 now, 5:15. Let's stop here. Okay, Edwin and Sister Christy, your group. Okay. This small book, I'm not going to explain how this book, what is this book and so forth. It's very easy. I would suggest you to read the preface, which I wrote to this preface, and this is very, very, very interesting. It's related to His Holiness the Dalai Lama's advice. So you will come to know about it, then you will feel the value of this book. And the red book, keep it with you. That is a souvenir for you from Tibet House. The red book, by the way. Yes. It's your book. Yes. It's your copy? Yes. Okay, come back at 5:15. Now we have only 14 minutes. 14 or 20, 21 minutes. 24 minutes.